Singapore is an island republic. It is governed by a written constitution, which forms the supreme law of the land and sets out the functions and duties of the various branches of government. So how does the Singapore government work?
Three branches: NEA, Ministry of Education,
I don't know, Executive Council or something.
Organs of state, ministries and state boards.
The executive, the legislative and the judiciary.
The three branches of government consist of the executive, the legislative and the judiciary. The executive branch of government is responsible for the execution and enforcement of laws, as well as the administration of public affairs. The executive branch consists of the President, the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. Executive authority is vested in the President and it is exercisable by him, the Cabinet and any minister authorised by the Cabinet. The President is the head of state, while the Prime Minister is the head of the government and leads the Cabinet. The President's functions were largely ceremonial from 1965 until 1991. In 1991, following a major constitutional amendment, the office of the President became an elected one, and the President was conferred certain powers over the government spending of Singapore's reserves and over appointments to key public offices. The President appoints the Prime Minister, who commands the confidence of the majority of the MPs. On the advice of the Prime Minister, the President appoints other ministers from the MPs to form the Cabinet. The Cabinet is responsible for all government policies in the day-to-day administration of the affairs of the state and is collectively responsible to Parliament.
Run the country in a suitable democratic way.
To
help Singaporeans.
To keep Singapore in order.
Draw up legislative laws.
The Parliament is a legislative branch in Singapore. The functions of Parliament in Singapore include making laws, controlling the state's finances, and checking on the actions of the executive. As of December 2013, there are 99 seats in Parliament. Of these, 87 are occupied by elected MPs, while the other seats are occupied by 3 non-constituency MPs and 9 nominated MPs. MPs are elected into Parliament via the general elections, which are usually held every 5 years. When the general elections are called for, Parliament is dissolved. The third branch of government is the judiciary, whose role is to interpret and apply the laws passed by the legislature. The judiciary operates independently from the legislature and the executive. There are 2 tiers to the court system in Singapore: the Supreme Court and the State Courts. The Supreme Court consists of the High Court and the Court of Appeal. Serious crimes and civil cases with claims exceeding $250,000 are heard in the High Court, while the Court of Appeal hears all appeals against any decision made by the High Court in its original jurisdiction. The head of the judiciary is the Chief Justice, who sits in the Court of Appeal alongside the Judges of Appeal. The other judges of the Supreme Court are the judges of the High Court and judicial commissioners. All judges, including the Chief Justice, are appointed by the President, if he, acting in his discretion, concurs with the advice of the Prime Minister. The state courts hear cases involving less serious crimes and civil claims below $250,000 and comprise of the district courts, magistrates' courts, juvenile courts, coroners' courts and small claims tribunals. Now that you know how our government is organised, let's find out more about how laws are made in Singapore, or check out www.parliament.gov.sg to find out more.